There we go with our super light to get away. Nathaniel, of course, right on the cusp of this one at the moment. He has a 33-point lead, so if he can maintain more than 25 points, he will take the title after this race as we look to our start through turn one, now into turn two, and a carve up through there at the moment. Nice little dice going on there, some good moves to go on as we watch our field and our update. Man, that was a great move going through there. In fact, that was back in third place. Now, just learning from Jared that Nathaniel's had a little bit of a crash, so he's feeling a little bit on the light side, and it appears to be what his racing is at the moment. He's dropped back, and there's the roar of the Pro Twins, and a special congrats must go to Jordan Burley for his outstanding championship effort this year, and good to see more winners in our Pro Twin class. It's been a real success story. Look at these numbers for Pro Twins. They're going to certainly become a class to dominate our New Zealand road race scene if this can keep up, and of course the introduction of more bikes in this capacity as well, including as we have Ben Rosendale and having that Yamaha MT as well, so it adds another model to it, Jared.
Very, very good racing yesterday, Neil. Jordan Burley, congratulations. 2018 Superbike or New Zealand Superbike Championship win there, his first one, and he just ran away. But the rest of the class, boy, it was a great race. You could throw in a blanket over it. So going to be interesting to see if he can break the lap record today.
Oh, excellent indeed. That's one of the great things. You've already got the title, so it doesn't come down to using those races. And quite often you get people, all I've got to do is finish a third or a fifth, and they say, well, that's all they needed to do, and that's the right thing to do. But you don't end up by putting it on the line. And that's sometimes where the TT has been such a deciding feature race for us at the end of the championships. If we'd been at Hampton Downs, as we have in the last few years, but bringing the title here to Taupo means that the TTs last week could be a little bit more of an open race for the best man to win, as we've seen some real deciders. And I go back to our Super Sports last year between the great fight of Damon Rees, Shane Richardson. Of course, it was our underdog in that case of Alex Phillips that came through to win it. So nice to see. There we go with our super lights to join us out there. And remembering, of course, the Pro Twin break in here as we look for Jordan. And as Jared has updated, looking for Jordan to see whether he's going to be able to go for lap record material. So Dennis Charlotte, Nathaniel Dipros, Chris Huddleston. Nice to see Chris up there. It is a young man on a mission, comes from a fantastic race livery out of Team Huddleston Racing, and nice to see his improvement. One of the things, Jared, we've noted here, of course, over the years, is South Islanders seem to love this circuit. They've come up here. You go back to people like Daniel Metham that raced, and all of a sudden, Seth Devereaux was turning up and racing in 125s. South Islanders hadn't even seen it before, and they adapt so well to it. You've been here and raced a lot at Taupo. What's special about the Taupo circuit?
Taupo track can be pretty good and grippy when it's nice and cool, like as we saw yesterday. The track conditions were perfect. When it heats up, it seems to be a little bit slick, and maybe on a bigger bike, on the Superbike, they were struggling for a little bit of traction and stuff. 600's not too bad, but yeah, it is very temperature sensitive, this place. That's why they can't go to the SC0 as well and run the super soft. So hopefully yesterday we had some good conditions and we were on lap record pace. 0.02 of a second off lap record for Avalon Biddle, and Superbike's very, very close to it as well. So it'd be interesting to see what it does today. Hopefully it doesn't heat up too much and we'll get some lap record pace.
All right, so here we go. This might be a good example of where we have a different race winner compared to the title winner, with a 33-point deficit in there. Nathaniel Dipros over Dennis Charlotte, a further 79 back to Jacob Stroud, but there is only a 1-point difference between Jacob and Chris Huddleston for third place in the title. So that's going to come down to a wire. Morning, Spider. Great to join us. Yesterday's racing, a summary from you?
Oh, just outstanding. We were joined. Obviously, you were away at another event and enjoyed that. You would have missed this and the New Zealand Motocross Champions that were rescheduled. But to have Jared and John Dyson here was just great. They brought their knowledge of the pits and the racing setups of the years of experience for both of you. But the racing yesterday was absolutely outstanding. I was very impressed with Avalon all season long. And last year, if you remember, Avalon was very strong in the final in Taupo here. I knew she had it, but to go within 2/100ths of a second of that lap record. Now, to me, that was the hardest one to beat, because it's the pace last year that Shane Richardson and Damon Rees had was just incredible. But let's go back to what's happening on the track, because we've got two classes out there, and of course the Super Lights are out there as well as the Pro Twins. The Pro Twin Championship has already been decided for the first place, but we've got to go down to second, third and fourth, because it's all the way through. We've got it's 70 points there to second place, between second and third place, so that's unassailable. So Nick Kane is actually
7 on that side, Spider.
Yeah, Nick, yeah. Jordan Burley has already won the championship, and Nick Kane has already come second in the championship. Leon Underwood can't get near him with the difference, and nor indeed can Sam Davidson, because it's 87 points back to them. We've only got 50 points available, so actually it looks like all the championship has been decided. We announced it provisionally. So what do we got here? We got a lap record, is it, or fastest lap? A 136.136. 136.136 for Superlights. We're a 135.837, and that's Lee Tidman. Lee Tidman not here, unfortunately, after a Suzuki Series crash. We thought he might get healed up enough to do his home track because he lives in Taupo, but that is the Superlight lap record. And right now we've got the pace is very, very hot. The wind is about the same today, Neil. You weren't here yesterday. We had about the same breeze coming from the south across there, so it doesn't really affect the racing at Taupo. It doesn't affect that long, long straight, Neil Ritchie.
Indeed, which makes a difference, of course, for these smaller bikes. So we'll be keen to see that the wind's not a defining factor, and if we have that lighter breeze, well, one can hope for lap records going down here today. So there it is, Superlights and Pro Twins, their penultimate race of the entire championship, to do it in the sun here on a beautiful morning in Taupo. Great way to finish the series, and welcome to Hamilton Motorcycle Club, of course. They're hosting this final round. Hamilton Motorcycle Club, a legend of a club in New Zealand motorcycle racing scene, and of course their new Kawasaki Road Race Series, Championship Series, coming up through this year in May, August and September, with the May and September rounds here in Taupo, and the middle round on August the 19th at Hampton Downs. So their new series, including their Lambs approved class, which has got a few people excited, I know for sure, and it's incorporating all of their others as well, so nice to see. So there it is, the Kawasaki Road Race Series, hosted by the Hamilton Club, and great news, of course, that they gave that special acknowledgement to Mike Webb. Mike probably could be argued now as one of the most famous members of that Hamilton Motorcycle Club, so a great credit that the club have done to acknowledge Mike's services for motorcycling across the board. Jared, you've been involved in seeing that, so something special for the Hamilton Club, isn't it?
Oh, it was a very special night to go over there to see someone from humble beginnings, working for my father and stuff, and then a hero of mine, going along and watching him on his 250 Grand Prix days, racing against Bruce Anstey, John Reed and all those boys, to go along and work at World Superbikes, work his way up to 500 GP for Yamaha, technical director and now race director of MotoGP. It makes the world feel like you can actually get out there and achieve something. So it's pretty cool having God in your back pocket.
Yeah, in fact, but I think the other people, they need to understand how humble is. Mike was no noter, was he? Hey,
Never.
He was quiet, unassuming. You'd never hear of a protest or anything bad from him. Never the guy to bend the rules or anything like that. The fairest sportsman, an immaculate rider, all-round good guy. And for what he's achieved, that's a reflection of how he was like as a young person, is still what he's like and what he's deserved and recognised now in our sport.
And still a great guy like that. What an evening we had. Hugh Anderson, my father, Mike Webb, all along at one evening, all just telling their old stories and that we love, we've grown up listening to and watching, and it was unbelievable. It was a great evening. So, it was very, very good evening, and hopefully everyone can cruise along to this Hamilton Motorcycle Club event. They're doing a big resurgent really in the racing and stuff, and the winter series is going immaculate at the moment.
Right, back on the track. Is that Jacob Stroud's helmet in the way there as he parks up in pit lane? Or is that Jesse? Sorry, It's got Stroud number 11 on there. Yellow flag out there at the chicane coming onto the front straight. A yellow flag out there. The bike's lying on the inside. The rider is well out of the way. That's the important thing. Not sure who it is at the moment. So, in fact, it's Jesse Stroud. He was in the way of the camera there, so it's Jesse. The important thing is he's out of the way. He's well off to the track. So Jesse Stroud is up, and a yellow flag out for that. So that's a bit of a disappointment from them. Back out in the front, we got 1/10 of a second between first and second. Dennis Charlotte still leads with in second place Nathaniel Diprose. 33 points available between the championship. So unless we have a DNF now, it will go down to the wire in next race for the Superlight, the New Zealand Superbike Championship final round here at Bruce McLaren Motorsport Park. It's been a great season. Ruapuna was excellent the first weekend of the first weekend of January, and then we went to Timaru, and then we went to the Motorfest. What a legendary event there 2 weeks ago at Hampton Downs. Here's those lead bikes, and that was absolutely awesome. Here's those lead bikes coming across the start-finish line. What, 0.145? I reckon it's a little bit closer there with Nathaniel Diprose closing in there, right on the tail of Dennis Charlotte. We're just looking for the times as they go into turn one, and
Nathaniel, I caught up with him last night and saw him down on the podium. He actually had to be lifted off his bike. He's in that much pain, but it looks like they may have given him a little bit of a whack around. He was sitting back and looked like Dennis was getting away, but he scooted up on the back, and my pick is he's got about 0.5 up his sleeve, and he's just sitting on the back waiting for the laps to count down.
The Pro Twin actions coming onto the front straight. The championship already decided that is signed, sealed and delivered. Number 3, Jordan Burley there, followed by, how have we got there? And I think it's Jordan Burley. It's number, I didn't catch the number, sorry. Still got a green light out there. But that battle has been hot. Remember, Jordan Burley yesterday got quite a lead there, which is unusual for someone who's in such a secure place in the championship to go out and extend themselves and not do anything silly. You know, the idea is to win as slow as you can, but you've also got that concentration level issue. You know, if you go out and you try and ride a bit slower than that just to conserve your points, you can really just make errors there. You know, your concentration's on it, your excitement's not level on it. So he ran his race, won his championship, and absolutely outstanding. There's young Dylan Keeper there, Kepper, on number 16. He's had an awesome ride this weekend. It's good to see him back at the track. He contested 600 Supersport a couple of seasons ago, did the entire New Zealand Championship, sponsored by the Good Bastards Motorcycle Club, and him and his father are down here, and they're contesting. I think he did the North Island round, and they're back down here.
Just an update there, Spider. Talked to Jordan Burley last night, first New Zealand Championship that he's won, and he said he can stop mucking around. Well, he's just gone out and unofficially broken the lap record by 0.3 of a second.
0.3 of a second, yeah. Well, it's on the timing. It can't be protested unless there's a machine difference on it. But we haven't had any issue with that all season long for his bike or any of the Pro Twin bikes, I think. So that is a new lap record, yeah.
And a dominant season. He's trying to do one lap there to go. He's been trying to win every single race. He's already got one lap record as well. So there's another lap record to put to his resume.
Okay, I'm just looking at his results. Jordan Burley in the Pro Twins. It was Sam Davison was on pole position down at Ruapuna. Now that's important because that's 1 point, but he got a clean set of wins, 25, 25, 25 at Ruapuna, 13 points. So that'll be about 4th place there at levels there the next weekend with 2 wins, and then we went to Hampton Downs, 2 wins and a 3rd place as well. So while he tried, we've had other people in the Pro Twins just about had to clean up, and who was that one year? It was Royd Walker-Holt tried to do it, and he got caught here because he thought there was no competition, and Dean Bentley fronted up, and Dean Bentley pipped him for the first race. He was sleeping. Royd thought, oh, I've got this thing, and then all of a sudden someone went past and he didn't have it, so he had to, next race it was changed. Here we go, the final lap, coming to the onto the start-finish stripe, and now it is Nathaniel Diprose has got ahead of Dennis Charlotte, but only by half a bike length, and that is it. Valuable points for Nathaniel Diprose with Dennis Charlotte there in 2nd place. We're looking out for 3rd, and it is Chris Huddlestone expected, and then Richard Markham Barrett. Chris Huddlestone goes through. Richard Markham Barrett, I think we're looking out for those. They're a bit further down. Here they come around there. Now this is Richard Markham Barrett is on a Kramer, and he's obviously got it going a little bit better than yesterday because he was struggling with it yesterday. So over to you, Jared.
Another lap record there unofficially as well, 35.3. He's just beaten Lee Tidman's lap record on the last lap, so he definitely sat there, waited, bided his time, and pipped it and broke the lap record as well. So congratulations there.
Oh, what a great first race, and lap records already. We had no lap records. We were very, very close yesterday, but lap records set to tumble today, and oh, mate, what a day. Ctas, mate, what a legend this guy is, and the setup he